everything they could have hoped for through his first 2 starts. Dodgers 19-13, trying to finish this trip with a 7th win in 9 games. Arizona at 14-17. Off we go with strike 1 from Montgomery to Mookie Betts, who is 0 for 6 in this series, but he's walked 4 times. At .368 average, still leading baseball, and the walks also leading the big leagues. Combination of so many different qualities, Mookie Betts always has been, but all of them kind of peaking this year, putting it all together. The average and the power and the on base and the stolen bases coming back. 2-1.
Yesterday, news that he will be playing shortstop moving forward. There's not going to be the bouncing back between the middle infield positions. Mookie's idea.
One of those things where it's a challenging thing enough, just moving to short, playing short, to not have to go back and forth.
Well, and I think it makes sense too, and Mookie brought up a great point. He wants to be the best shortstop that he can be, and the only way you're going to do that is to get reps at short. So anytime you're playing second, that's taken away from experience at the shortstop position.
Leading off this game against Montgomery and taking it in the dirt. Count goes full. Mookie Betts hadn't struck out since April 15th prior to last night's game when he went down on strikes twice. Still, though, how about overall this year, 26 walks to 16 strikeouts. Numbers like that are unheard of these days. Montgomery comes home, and Betts grounds it foul, stays alive. The major league average with 2 strikes is $180. Mookie Betts with 2 strikes is hitting .360.
I mean, it really, it's tough to find something that he doesn't excel at on this baseball field. And you can look at whether it's fielding, running, hitting in certain situations. I mean, there's not a weakness in his game.
Gets under this ball, sends it way up there into the open roof for Ketel Marte. And he gives way to Jake McCarthy, one of those guys in a white jersey out there. That got really confusing. That kind of felt like the what hat is the ball under game that they play on the video board, all those moving pieces there. It's McCarthy, and it's an out either way.
Yeah, Marte just having fun with everybody.
I didn't think it was that fun.
Well, our eyes are all focused on Marte, and he's scrambling around, and you know he's not even going after the ball.
Brings up Freddie Freeman. Clubbed the double yesterday, extended his hitting streak to 10 games.
Yeah, hitting streak has been nice. What really jumps out to me, though, the 11 RBIs. Something very important to Freddie, driving in those runs.
He doesn't feel like he's all the way back. He feels like he's headed in the right direction, although he did declare his batting practice today his best batting practice in 8 months. Said, I haven't felt that good since early September last year. On this 1-1 from Montgomery. He just got rid of that before the pitch clock violation. Goes to 1-2. He said that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to show up in the game, but he took 29 swings during batting practice and hit 25 line drives over the shortstop, which is exactly what he's trying to do with each swing. Behind 1-2. And Chase is here. To his point, just because you feel it in batting practice doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to show up in the game that night. I'm sure it works the other way too.
Well, he didn't tell you what he did those other 4 swings, right?
That's did that.
You know, yeah, right. No, he's a difficult at bat for Freddie, and even if Ohtani would have played Montgomery, it's not a good matchup.
Tough lefty in Montgomery. Faces Will Smith here, who's taken him deep before. Hammers this ball left center field. Carroll's over, and it's Gurriel to cut in front of him, make the grab. His first pitch of the ball game misses away to Jake McCarthy, and he's coming off his best start to this point. 6 scoreless innings on Thursday against the Washington Nationals. He said his mechanics finally felt like they were right where they needed to be after tinkering here and there. And he starts this one with a 3-0 count. There was a pitch clock violation in there that contributed to one of these 3 balls. I'm thinking, have I already missed? How did? It's
been a long road trip, Joe. 3 days.
Yeah, I was going to say I can't claim to be any kind of hero. So 3-1 now. Yamamoto faces Arizona for the first time. A lot of curiosity anytime a lineup faces him. Anytime a new fan base is watching this product of Japan. He fires 3-1 and it's hit foul.
Not really swing and miss, but more location. You should go down to 4, right?
Yeah, so there was indeed a violation, and then he said, yeah, all right, I'll take it. It's a leadoff walk for McCarthy. He put one of those to extra use last night by stealing a base right after. He's got good wheels. Moto have to keep an eye on him. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. stands in. The first 3 days of the season where he homered in all 3 games feels like an eternity ago for Gurriel, who has won for his last 22. Good secondary lead over there, and then McCarthy throws on the brakes. Mentioned last night that he was an all-state running back in high school, record-setting running back in the great high school football state of Pennsylvania. He was first-team All-State as a senior, making a guy you've probably heard of dropped a second-team All-State running back, Saquon Barkley.
Wow. I'd say he chose the right sport, though.
Turned out okay for him. Drops in there for a strike, 1-1. A curveball, which was dynamite first 4 games, gave up just 2 hits first 4 starts. It's the one pitch that's gotten hit a little bit his last couple starts. 6 hits his last 2 games on the curve. 1-1 pitch. It's 1-2.
Back-to-back curveballs by Yamamoto, and we'll see early in the game what he has the best feel for. Just because he's had success with something, you go down in that bullpen and you may not have it that evening, or something feels better.
Bouncing ball to short. Betts gets in front of it to second one. Rojas whips it to first, a double play. 6-4-3 twin killing. Bases wiped clean.
How smooth did that look?
That's pretty, wasn't it? I
mean, the way that Mookie kind of corrals it, he comes around it, moves through it, fields it, flips it over. I think the thing, it just looks so fluid. If you look at what Mookie's done this year, the struggles, or what little there have been the throws, and it's not the arm, it's the footwork.
Marte, strike 1. Strike 2. So he's gone fastball splitter. Back home with an 0-2. It is another splitter, and boy, it was
a strike.
Bullseye.
Yeah, it was a strike.
Call from Adrian Johnson, though.
Got a lot of plate right there. Really an excellent spot.
Barnes didn't even move his glove.
I mean, that wasn't even off.
The league is 3 for 34 against that splitter. It looks so much like the fastball to the hitter's eyes until the last second. There's only 5 miles per hour difference. The last moment it drops off of the cliff. Back up with the fastball. The fastball working in conjunction with that splitter, that was the big differentiator in the last start. By far the best his fastball has been. He'd been describing it kind of leaking over the plate, not going where he wanted it prior to his last time out, but had that dialed in and everything else followed.
Yeah, the location he had, the command he had with the fastball in his last start, that's what separated him. He didn't have a ton of swing and miss, only 2 of 13, but he was just dotting that thing all over the plate.
Kicks and fires another 2-2, and a splitter's taken downstairs to make it full. So this will be the 4th extra pitch that he's had to throw after what should have been strike 3. It's going to be the 8th one total. Marte waits on it, lofts it to center field. That's going to find the gap and get by Pages. At least 2 for Marte. He'll settle in with a 2-out double.
That curveball just kind of rolled up there, and that's what we were talking about at the top of the show. The curveball, while it has some metrics and a lot of movement, he's missed with that pitch last couple of starts. It just hasn't been as impactful as it was early on in the year.
Double from Marte gives Christian Walker a 2-out chance here. Day after he was the hero, 3 for 5 with a pair of home runs, including a walk-off. He's had before he headed up to the plate in the 10th inning, Torey Lovullo grabbed him and he said, "Hey, don't worry about getting the guy up. I don't want you caught in between on this. Go up there and hit it to the moon." And Christian said that the feeling of confidence and freedom that gave him from his manager fueled his swing. Yamamoto comes home with an 0-2 into his hands and into the sky. Freddie Freeman at first. Down to scoreless first.
Other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Scoreless game on to the 2nd inning as Teoscar Hernandez climbs in to face off with the guy who has tormented him through their years in the American League, and Jordan Montgomery. Teoscar 2 for 21 against Montgomery. A lot of those matchups, Jordan was in a Yankees uniform. Montgomery in his 8th season, a lot of those with the Yankees, then to the Cardinals before going to Texas at the deadline last year. Hot shot right at Alexander. Low throw, but Walker calmly, as he's done all series and all season and much of his career, digs it out of there.
When we saw it last night, yes, he hit the 2 home runs, but he had a few picks that were real helpful for his infielders in big situations, and this is not an easy one.
He makes it look like it, though.
Yeah, but look, he's got a lot on that ball right there, and that thing he just grabs it right out of his soft hands.
Kike Hernandez with 1 away. No score, 2nd inning. So Montgomery, picks a great time for a career year as Hernandez comes into this one hot. Last traded to Texas at the deadline in sub-3 ERA over his 2 months there. Wins a World Series. They lean on him in the postseason. You could not have a better year to show, look, this is what you're paying for as he goes into free agency. But it did not go anything like he thought it was going to. He didn't sign until March 26th. Imagine being Jordan Montgomery, having the best year of your life, thinking that you're all set up for your phone to ring off with a hook, and then crickets. Said he was stressed, he was confused. He's sitting there thinking, wait a minute, I thought I was pretty good last year. Does nobody want me? He winds up signing this 1-year contract. Because, I mean, what better stage to go do what he did? And at 31 years old, ready to cash in, but had to settle for the 1-year deal. Now tries to prove himself again. That's a walk to Kike Hernandez, and the Dodgers have their first base runner. Ahead of it,
young player just getting his feet wet in the big leagues.
took one upstairs, ball one. Highest that he's hit in the order tonight, up to the 6th spot with the domino effect of Ohtani being out. '23-year-old center fielder watches a backdoor curve for a strike, and it's 1-1. "14 games since he was called up. He's started every one of them. At first, that's okay. Well, let's give him a runway to show what he can do. But I think by now it's become, yeah, we got to have Andy Paez in there.
Yeah, he strengthened the bottom of the lineup. As I said, he's given them hitterish at-bats, situational at-bats, not just up there hacking. I think if anything, you know, and again, because he's been swinging the bat well, you wouldn't say anything, but he's yet to draw a walk, which he's had 55, I believe, plate appearances. This may be 56. But it's not because he's swinging at everything. He's been good enough.
Runs count full against Montgomery.
It'd be ironic if he could draw his first walk.
Yeah.
The big leagues right here against a guy that only had one coming in to tonight's ball game.
Hernandez takes a wider lead at first as Montgomery fires a 3-2 and Paez grounds it foul.
And I mentioned the 0 walks, just 1 strikeout though in his last 35 plate appearances.
Another payoff. Paez fouls it again.
He had that bat earlier in this series. Runners on second and third, and up there fouling some pitches off, and then hit a deep sacrifice fly. Obviously scoring the runner from third, but moving the runner over from second to third. Eventually scored.
There's been some of those subtle things with his defense too.
Oh yeah.
On the 8th pitch from Montgomery. We'll find out in a moment as he checks on number 8. Kike, by the way, has not attempted a steal this year. So here comes pitch number 8. Paez hits a towering fly ball. Left center field. It is gone. A monstrous home run from the rookie. Fouls off several pitches, works a full count. And against the reigning World Series champion, on the 8th pitch, launches this majestic bomb.
Well, in the prior 4 pitches, he had fouled 3 of them and taken a ball in the dirt. Gets to this count, gets to that pitch, and then just deposits it. But again, it's the approach, the way he got to that situation. You know, he's not up there trying to hit it out. He's not trying to hit it 10 miles. He was up there just trying to get himself another pitch, and he sure did. Hit a mistake.
Dodgers take the early lead on Paez's 3rd home run. And now it's Rojas popping the ball back towards the old beehive. Ball 1 strike. Continues to impress Andy Paez. It is an impressive at bat no matter how it ended, and then he puts that punctuation on it. Whoa. That's a little more like it for scoring runs. That's a little more conventional. The block and the wild pitch. 1-2 comes home to Rojas. Gets his hands in and rakes it down the line. That's a fair ball into the corner. Miguel Rojas heads for second with a double.
Second half of this lineup, as it has all road trip, continues to show for the Dodgers. Suarez laying out, but this ball by him.
So after Montgomery sat down the first 4 very quickly, a walk, a homer, and a double. And now Chris Taylor to the plate. Playing in his 1,000th career game tonight. There's a couple players playing in their 1,000th game, and they actually are already a little bit linked. It's Taylor and it's Ketel Marte. And Taylor was one of the reasons why Ketel Marte was slowed in his climb to the big leagues in the Mariners system. Taylor was blocking him at short. Marte had to move over and play more second base because of Taylor. Both found their way here eventually. Both playing in game 1,000 tonight. Three and 0. There goes the runner from second. It is ball 4 and no throw. Rojas steals third. Taylor takes first.
A lot going on this inning that Jordan Montgomery has not seen yet this year. Already 2 walks this inning, giving up a home run to the rookie. Miggy Rojas stealing third.
Second stolen base for Rojas. First and third with 1 away, and Austin Barnes to the plate. Jumps on the first pitch, sends a high fly ball to left center field. Carroll on the move, deepest part of the yard, can't get it. Rojas in to score. Taylor stopped at third and a double from Barnes. 3-0. So much ground to cover out there, and Carroll covered all of it but couldn't haul it in. It's the second time in this series we've seen him get to a ball but unable to finish it.
He did cover a lot of ground. Barnes, he absolutely crushes this ball. You mentioned it, it's just right in his glove and pops right out of it. Just kind of the way that his season has gone so far.
A little bit of alligator arms again.
Yeah.
Second and third, one gone. Here comes Montgomery. Betts swats it foul. Fly to right his first time. Looking for his first hit of this series still. A curveball at Jordan Montgomery's is one of the best in baseball last year. Opponents hit 191 against it, but that is the pitch through 2 starts that he was complaining about not having the feel for. Mechanics feel good. He's located pretty well overall, but the curveball just has not felt right. And so far it's been more the same tonight. Finds a range on it there and gets ahead 1-2. The curveball has the largest difference from where he releases it to where it crosses the plate of any pitch in baseball. He's 6'6", long arms, high release point, and it spins like crazy. Turns up a fastball, and Betts turns it around into center field, base hit. Taylor in to score. Here comes Barnes. Throw is late. 2-run single. 5-run second.
So take a look at Mookie's swing right here. It's almost as if he blocks the ball and shoots it up the middle. Not trying to do too much. He's got runners out there at second and third. He's got 2 strikes. I mean, so good. Then this is a nightmare for the Diamondbacks because they needed some length from Montgomery this evening just because of the way the bullpen has been taxed. Did not want to see this if you're a Diamondbacks fan.
Yeah, they used 7 pitchers yesterday. Torre Lavello's saying, oh boy.
Need a beehive.
Something. Yeah. Release the bees and then lock up Matt Hilton.
Right.
Hey, everybody wants to be Matt Hilton, who now has a trading card, by the way. Topps called Matt Hilton last night, signed him to a little contract, and already have a Matt Hilton trading card out. Out at second, out at first. Impressive double play there from Peterson. Leads off the second and takes a pinpoint fastball for a strike. Peterson, to begin his time with the Diamondbacks, looked like Stephen Kwan, bat the ball guy. He struck out 3 times in his first 20 games, but he struck out 10 times in his last 6 games. Here he's got a base hit into center field to lead off the second.
Ball just leaks out over the plate. Jock keeps his hands close to him and shoots it up the middle.
Leadoff man has been on both innings. Yamamoto used a double play to get out of it unscathed in the first. Now faces Eugenio Suarez. Went into last night's game 2 for his last 19, but then went 2 for 3. Arizona hopes a sign of things to come for their first-year third baseman, where they got in a trade from Seattle this winter. Not an 0-1 pitch. Sends one in the air to right center field. Pages converging with Teoscar Hernandez. Pages has it. Back to first goes Peterson.
Pages does a nice job. The other day looked like there was a communication lapse. Ball dropped between the two of them, but if you look here, there's verbal and you see him stick out his arm. You see that right arm goes up. So if Teoscar can't hear, he sees a visual. And again, just something that as you continue to watch this kid play, you become more and more appreciative of his maturation.
Corbin Carroll. Side spins a fly ball to left center field. Taylor. 2 out. Now you've got 3 former MVPs down there in the Dodger dugout. That's Tani and Freeman. And figure even those guys are watching what Andy Pages is doing and saying, yeah, there's something to this.
Well, I think more than anything, they're watching him and they feel comfortable with him being out there. They feel confident in him. They don't think, okay, he's going to have, and he will have growing pains. And there are going to be struggles. It's what happens to everybody. But man, he certainly looks polished. That's a credit to the development staff of the Dodgers minor league group.
Two 2-0 on Blaze Alexander, which you talk about the success this organization has had over the last decade plus. But if you ask people inside baseball, around baseball, the minor league development might be at the top of the list of envy for what the Dodgers have done.
Well, they certainly have created a system that is as good, if not better, than anywhere else. And, you know, from the outside looking in, you'd say, oh, well, the Dodgers, they spend all this money and they spend $1 billion. No, they actually have the best infrastructure in all of baseball, from top to bottom. And that's not easy to do. You can excel in certain arenas, and it's not because we work for the Dodgers, right? I see a lot of other organizations. I'm around a lot of other people in this industry, and reality is this organization is the best.
Fly to right center field. Pages and Hernandez. Pages says, I'm the captain now. Smith, who flied out his first time to left center field against Jordan Montgomery, who fires a first pitch curveball for a strike. Smith is the #1 hitter in the National League against left-handed pitching at .457. The 1-1. Chased one up, 1-2. Will going after those fastballs has been a return to his core. Going after the fastballs and hitting the fastballs. Always had throughout his career. Last year, though, was a .184 hitter against fastballs. Back up above .300 this year. As strikeouts have gone down across the team lately, there's been some talk about collectively that approach, hunting fastballs, being ready when you get a fastball, being behind those strikeouts going down. There's a fly ball to deep left field. Forget about it. Will Smith leaves the building, and it's 6-0 Dodgers. Fourth overall, third in his last 5 games. A power surge from Will Smith.
Power surge from the Dodgers. It's 5 hits so far this evening, 4 of them for extra bases. Will gets that pitch down. He knows the minute he hits, he just puts his head down.
Oh, 0-1 on Tasker Hernandez. 6th consecutive game, by the way. Will Smith has had an extra base hit, so he's up among the leaders in all of baseball in batting average, and he's also starting to slug.
You just mentioned, Joe, talking about the Dodgers and being better with 2 strikes. So far this evening, of the 5 hits, 4 of them have been with 2 strikes.
That's hit hard, but stopped by Suarez. And Hernandez is the first out. Yeah, so when you look at the team strikeout rate dropping the last 2 weeks or so, was there a conversation, okay, let's strike out less? Doesn't really work out that way. Doesn't really work that way. The conversation has been, let's be more aggressive when we get fastballs and put those in play, not get to the 2 strike counts, which they haven't quite as often, and then they've been good when they've gotten to 2 strikes.
Well, and there's something else to be said about when you do get to 2 strikes, grind. See if you can see another 3 or 4 pitches. Don't just give in and don't just say, okay, I'm down in the count. I'm just going to swing for the fences right here. The Dodgers, at least they appear to be better the last couple of games.
Three-0 on Hernandez, and we go down to Kirsten.
Well, guys, just kind of piggybacking off of what you were just talking about, Dave Roberts yesterday, when he was talking about the no strikeout game in the first game of this series, he said what was most remarkable about it is these guys getting in multiple 2-strike counts and showing the fight, the fact that they're not giving in, they're taking really quality at bats, but that fight, that's what he's most proud of with this group right now, guys.
Lots alike. Trying to get to 20 wins. Set up a matchup with the Braves this weekend. Highly anticipated. Hernandez draws the walk. 3rd one of the game for the Dodgers. This is a rocky go of it for Jordan Montgomery, who had been excellent his first 2 starts.
I thought last inning was really, it was difficult for me. He threw 31 pitches, and Diamondbacks really hoping he'd come back out here and throw up a 0, and certainly doesn't have the makings of that right now.
I made 32 starts last year. 22 of them he gave up fewer than 3 runs. Eddie Pages, who hit a long home run his first time. It's a high pop fly this time. 2 away.
Second baseman, Miguel Rojas.
And here's Rojas. We've spoken about Pages transforming the bottom of the order, and Kike Hernandez getting hot lately, but Miguel Rojas, who any offense you get from is gravy, is also swinging a productive bat. After his double his first time, his average is up to 283.
On the first game of this series, batting in that 9 spot. Had the double, but he walked a few times too, turning over the lineup.
Hooks another base hit into left field. Rojas 2 for 2. And that average creeping closer and closer to 300. Suppose it shouldn't be all that surprising. Look at the career numbers from Miguel Rojas. He had a season in Miami where he hit 282. He had a season where he hit 290, 284. The 2020 season he hit 304. So last year's version of him is he was dealing a little bit with that front elbow bothering him. Got off to a tough start. That the no bat, all glove shortstop, that's not necessarily been who he's been. He's always been a great fielder, but there's always been some average in there too. So a return to what he's been for a lot of his career.
And that's turning into the all glove, no bat second baseman.
That's right.
I mean, that's, I think too, the way the Dodgers as organization has used Miggy this year, you know, not on his feet, not playing every day. I think that's helped him. You know, no player wants to acknowledge, okay, yeah, I need some days off but I think he's accepted it. And it's been great for both parties.
You better slow his roll a little bit, huh?
Right, you're going to be playing every day.
Chris Taylor's up there. Walked on 4 pitches his first time. The bullpen gets going way sooner than anybody with Arizona wanted to see tonight. Or any night, but especially tonight. Montgomery deals. Taylor grounds one to third for Suarez, who will chuck it across in time to end the inning. But Will Smith starts the inning with a home run. His third, 5 runs against him in the second, and another run in the third. And all kinds of cushion for Yoshi Yamamoto to work with as he faces off with 9-1 and 2. Tucker Barnhart leads off the inning. A curve pops in there for a strike, 1-1. 2 hits and a walk, no strikeouts. No damage against him through 2 innings. Two and 2. Tucker Barnhart in his 11th season. Different kind of season for him. It's the first time in more than a decade that he showed up to camp on a minor league contract without any guarantees. As they said, he had to totally change his mindset. Beginning of spring training, he had to have opening day mindset, trying to make the roster, which he did. He's down looking here to lead off the third. Only in the lineup today, we mentioned this off at the top, but Gabriel Moreno was scratched. He had a dental procedure this morning, and just precautionary, they took him out of the lineup just before first pitch. They said that he is available off of the bench today, but they prefer to stay away from him. Toothache. No fun.
Yamamoto ache.
That could be that too. Jake McCarthy sends a fly ball down the left field line. Taylor's over and out of room.
The task for Yamamoto now this evening is to give the Dodgers length. We mentioned that the bullpen a little thin this evening. Offense has staked him to a 6-0 lead. A lot of guys down there. Not sure how many of them are ready to throw tonight, though.
Nice that you have the off day coming tomorrow, because it has felt like kind of reaching for that finish line
right
to the back end of this road trip. It's also part of the deal when you're winning games, as they have been. You're going to be using those higher leverage arms to protect those leads. Price of doing business and a good run. Broken bat, and Yamamoto's got it. Boy, this guy's dodged all kinds of bullets on this road trip, hadn't he?
Shoot, that was nothing compared to the line drive he had the other day. But again, scary to see that bat just kind of spinning out at you. Watching Yamamoto from the back there, he didn't even flinch. Now this was a little something.
104 miles per hour off the bat of Eddie Rosario. Came back to the dugout, and Dave Roberts asked him, "Are you okay?" And he said, "I almost died." They had a good laugh once he didn't, in fact, die. Gurriel chases, 1 ball, 1 strike. Easy to joke about now, but it is no laughing matter in the moment. That's terrifying. Wave and a miss, 1-2. In on him to short. Lightning quick third, Yamamoto. Arizona, Blake Walston to Austin Barnes, hammered a double his first time. 22 years old from Wilmington, North Carolina, and making his major league debut here. 2-0 on Barnes. He's a starter down in AAA Reno, so we can give him some length here, which he'll desperately need. Went 6 innings in his last start in Reno, threw as many as 90 pitches. Barnes to left center field. Gurriel's over to get this one.
I said it in Toronto. The Dodgers, they're exhausting to play against, and a good representation of that tonight. Through 3 innings, Montgomery 63 pitches. You go back to that Toronto series, Chris Bassett Friday night 77 pitches through 3 innings. Kikuchi 56 the next evening. I mean, when you're doing that to your starter, you're getting into the bullpen, it's a barrage. You see that Arizona's found themselves in trouble tonight.
Mookie Betts takes a strike. And you know that they, as a group, they read the room. They see the situation, how depleted the bullpen is for the Diamondbacks. They know what getting to Montgomery and having extra tough at-bats, running that pitch count up, can do for the game.
Well, I was talking to Dave Roberts before the game, and he made the point, you know, if we could collectively approach Montgomery, similar type of ABs, make him work, make him throw pitches, love to get him out of the game early and get into that bullpen, because they have nothing left. And he was, you know, that was a strategy, and it's executed flawlessly so far.
Same thing on Monday. Tommy Henry, remember, 57 pitches through 3 innings. Betts, who had a 2-run single his last time. There's a base hit again. Started this series 0 for 7, 2 for his last 2.
I mean, just watching him, it almost reminds me you know, 20, 30 years ago, where it's like you were not going to strike out. You did not want to strike out. That walk back to the dugout was one of shame. And he gets the 2 strikes, and you know, he's not trying to launch. He's still just trying to put the barrel on the ball. God, he's been fun to watch this season. This road trip, making the road trip look short, feel short.
Freeman's 0 for 2. High fly ball down the left field line. Gurriel into foul ground. Didn't have room. And it evens up 1-1. Freddie, after declaring his best BP session in 8 months, we said, he did say, hey, I don't know that it's going to show up tonight, but I promise it's going to show up soon. Finding that feeling again. Said he changed a little swing thought, and that you won't see it, but that the thought to himself was lift your hands higher. And he felt like he was more direct to the ball, making it easier for him to do what he wants, drive the ball over the shortstop. Undiscernible to the naked eye, but in his mind, it's doing what he needs it to. Generous call there, and it's 2-2. Freddie's saying, I've been here a while, and this guy got here today. Why is he getting a call?
Well, that was undiscernible to Adrian Johnson's eye. Take that back. That's Ramon de Jesus. I don't want to give Adrian a unfair knock there.
That's my fault. I did that earlier. Caught it first by Walker and steps right into the double play. Nothing Betts could do there. Marte leads off the 4th and takes a ball from Yamamoto. So 1,000th game of his major league career tonight. Celebrated it by doubling his first time up. Yeah, bounces one back to Yamamoto here. He's showing himself to be quite a nifty fielder, isn't he?
I think the league is being served notice that you do not want to hit the ball back up the middle. I mean, all you needed to see was that play the other day. 105.
In addition to 3 straight Sal Murrow awards as the top pitcher, 3 straight MVPs as the top player, he's got 3 straight Gold Gloves. Delivered strike 1 to Christian Walker. And now strike 2 on a filthy splitter.
Difficult enough to face a guy with Yamamoto's stuff, but you give him a 6-run lead and then he can do whatever he wants to do out there. He doesn't have to be conventional. He doesn't have to be predictable. Just kind of have fun out there.
Two and 2 on Walker. Moto deals. Yeah, it's fouled off. Awkward swing right there.
It almost looked like it got thumped. No, that was an emergency act, just getting the bat there.
Chopper cut off at third by Kike Hernandez. This guy's momentum headed towards first. Desirable outcome there between the 2 guys. And throws him out, 2 away. And here's Peterson. Cutter to the inside corner for a strike. His vast arsenal. That's a pitch he'll throw a few times per game. Ground ball, base hit to center field. He had retired 8 straight since Peterson's single in the second, and it's Peterson getting to him again here. And Suarez comes up. Dodgers up 6-0, last of the fourth. Suarez fouls off a curveball. Throwing that curveball more than he ever did in Japan, and way more than you're going to see as a big league hitter just about any night. Throws his curve almost 30% of the time. The average big league pitcher throws curveball 8% of the time. That's just when you put all the pitchers together. I guess a better way to put it, as a hitter, you're only going to see a curveball in 8% of the pitches that you see. But when you face him, it's almost 1 of every 3.
Well, that's what happens when you have metrically the best curveball in the game. You have a chance to offer that up to hitters.
Best and a unicorn in the shape of it.
Suarez gets a look at it right there.
Strikes him out with the splitter. 4 scoreless innings for Yamamoto, who's 480. Yeah, with his home run tonight, 6 consecutive games with an extra base hit. That's the longest of his career, and what's more is that's the longest for a Dodger catcher since 1961, when John Roseboro had an extra base hit 9 games in a row. Here is that home run, 3rd one in his last 5 games. Combine it with what he's done as the catcher. I mean, when we're just talking about catchers generically, any offense you get, it's icing on the cake. We're talking about one of the top offensive players, regardless of position, in the league to this point. And then the multiplying factor of the fact that it's done at a premium position like catcher.
And I'll say it, the first game of this road trip against the Nationals, there was a play in the 9th inning. Dodgers ended up winning the game 4-1. But Max Muncy ended up throwing the ball to Will Smith, a short hop, and he picked it and saved what could have been a real problem. The score would have been 4-2. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. Nobody out. Excuse me, 1 out. And I'll tell you that defensive play set the tone for this whole road trip. Because if the Dodgers don't win that first game, it may have been a whole different story.
Fly ball, right center field. Carroll's going back onto the track. Deepest part of the yard. Just enough room.
This is what I was talking about, Joe. The first night, Will Smith goes to throw home, or excuse me, Max Muncy goes to throw home. Will picks it. They're able to get that runner. You see, Abrams, everybody's like, oh my goodness, what just happened? We were going to make our comeback right here. If Will doesn't pick that ball, like I said, it could have been a whole different story, and this road trip could have been markedly different.
We were talking during the pregame show, Eric, about this game one way or another shifting this road trip. How you feel about it collectively? Massive difference between going 7-2, finishing it with a win, and finishing it with a whimper, losing a series.
I mean, you would tell yourself, oh well, we went 6-3. It's a good road trip. But Jay Hare said it on the pregame show. And it was a joke, but it's a must-win game. But there is a different feeling having going home, hey, we're 7-2, or you could have lost 3 of the last 4.
Right.
That certainly doesn't sound good. Hey, we lost 3 of the last 4. We got a day off, and we got the Braves coming. Just not the way you want to go into that series.
Braves, by the way, finished off their series in Seattle today. They had lost back-to-back games for the first time all year, first 2 games of that series, but they won today 5-2. Ronald Acuna had a couple hits, which is noteworthy because he is scuffled out of the gates. Walk for Hernandez.
Yeah, he and Matt Olson both real slow starts, but you know that's the thing why they are such a good team. You got those 2 struggling. Albies has been in and out of the lineup. You had the toe issue. Strider gone for the year, but that's still a team that's going to be standing at the end of the year, and they're going to be standing tall.
Strike on Hernandez. That's the same thing as last year, where the consensus is that Dodgers and Braves together are in a league of their own in the National League. And those consensus last year is like, hey, let's just cut the fat out and get right to the National League Championship Series, Dodgers Braves, but that never came to be. Swing and a miss by Kike Hernandez, and a strikeout for Matt Walston, first of his big league career.
Center fielder, Andy Paez.
And now Paez. Impressive first couple weeks, but most impressive single swing came tonight. Absolute bomb of a home run. Started the scoring in the second. 0-2, here it is.
And this is after fouling off a few pitches. He had taken a ball in the dirt, and he continued to lengthen the at-bat. Wasn't up there trying to hit it 10 miles, but that was the result.
Walston to Paez upstairs, 2-2.
All right, so there you go. First 2 pitches, he's down 0-2 and worked himself to a 3-2 count.
What he did against Montgomery before that home run. See what he does here. Grounds into the foul. You know, when you're looking at the overall swing percentages, he's up among the most aggressive guys in the lineup. But you're so right that it never feels crazy. It's going to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat, same thing that he did his first time when he finished it with a homer. Aggressive on strikes, doesn't chase a ton.
We mentioned he hasn't walked yet this year, but you don't want to go up looking for a walk. You walk because you didn't get your pitch to hit. If you go up there trying to be passive, trying to walk, it usually doesn't lead to good at-bats.
Now the payoff. Caught the corner, strike 3. Pages didn't like it, saw the catcher reach over there to grab it. That ends the strike one and a curve. He went to break after his last inning saying he hadn't given up a run on the road. And you're probably like, wait a minute, Korea, he got shelled. Technically, that was not a road game, as a home game, but you get the point. Domestically, there's a heck of a play by Miguel Rojas. Doesn't matter where you put him. Long as he's on the dirt, he dazzles.
Watch this play. So he's quick getting there, but just real relaxed and sets his feet. The spin and getting up is quick, but hey, let me gather myself. Gets him easily, and that's a fast runner.
Yeah. One of the fastest, but one of the best gloves right there. One away, Blaze Alexander takes outside. Favorite thing growing up in Venezuela, fielding ground balls, and it's still the thing that gives him the most joy.
They had a great shortstop out of Venezuela, great defensive shortstop, Omar Vizquel. A lot of youngsters there growing up emulated him. One of the best fielding shortstop the game's ever seen. You know, Yamamoto tonight, it's interesting. You know, we talk about the split, we talk about the curveball. Fastball tonight, these Diamondbacks are 1 for 9 against him this evening. And you know, he's been real effective with it, but 0 swing and misses.
Yeah.
0 swing and misses so far.
Alexander pokes one to right. That'll dunk in ahead of Tasker Hernandez for a base hit. First one of the series for Alexander. So there's the breakdown tonight. Pretty close to the overall mix on the year. Barnhart, one of the 2 strikeout victims to this point. Looping curve, swing and a miss. Sticks to that curveball, lays off this time. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Barnhart out of Brownsburg, Indiana. The stadium in town is Tucker Barnhart Field. Tucker spent a little time with the Dodgers, actually. Short stint at the end of last year in Oklahoma City. Got 2 Gold Gloves on his resume in those 8 seasons in Cincinnati. Then he went on to Detroit for a year. Started last year with the Cubs before coming to LA. Swings and misses. One of the best curveballs yet from Yamamoto.
I don't get to play that often. Hitting's not my thing. Are you going to drop that on me?
I'm the backup catcher, bro.
Right, that's
like, what are you doing? 3rd strikeout, 4 more, and everybody gets a free Jumbo Jack with the purchase of a large drink. Austin Barnes asking for time here from Ramon de Jesus. Austin has caught both starts on this road trip for Yamamoto, and he said he could feel from Yamamoto during the bullpen warming up against Washington that it was going to be a good night. The fastball was just driving through him, is the way he put it. A cutter for a strike on Jake McCarthy. And more the same tonight. 11 innings on this trip, no runs. Strike two. And then he finishes him off with a splitter. Nasty stuff from Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Stabbed on the mound by Walston. No one gone in the sixth. And a word from Morongo.
Morongo, voted best casino in the Southland.
And now it's Chris Taylor. Grounded out his last time, but he walked and scored in that 5-run second. Hey, when you watched the Dodgers play the Twins a few weeks ago, did you see a 10-game winning streak coming from Minnesota?
Did not see that at all, right? And I'm talking about the Dodgers Twins game.
I figured. That's why I winked at you when I asked. Yeah, a 10-game winning streak for the Twins. Now 17-13. Now they're picking on some low-hanging fruit there. White Sox are now 6-25, and they just swept them.
Don't knock the White Sox, so they just got done sweeping the Tampa Bay Rays, I believe, right before that. It was a battle of two hot teams, the White Sox and Twins, right?
That's
you're
true.
right. I mean, there's some.
That is a base hit for Chris Taylor.
Some teams having some tough years. Marlins, the Rockies.
Head-to-head. Just finished off a series. Marlins 4-1 today. Moved to 8-24. Dropped the Rockies to 7-23. Some surprise teams out there. The Central, it's full of surprising teams. Not just the Twins at 17-13. The Guardians are 20-10.
How about the Royals?
Kansas City Royals are 19-13. Even the Detroit Tigers, 18-13. So a division that a lot of people look at and say this is the worst in baseball. I don't know. You got a bunch of teams with really good records in there. Barnes 1 for 2 today. Stroked the double, brought in a run in the 5-run inning. Fouls it into the glove. Strike 3. Third K for Walston.
It's all right. The bottom 4 in the order. 5 for 11 with 4 runs and 3 RBIs. All 4 of them have hits. And I'd still say that this lineup has yet to click. I mean, we've had some guys get hot at the top, some at the bottom. This guy's been hot all year.
Even on this trip, EK, they're looking to go on 7-2, but it's been up and down. They've had the outbursts and then a quiet game, and then an outburst and a quiet game. Too many good hitters for that to be the norm.
Well, and as good as this road trip has been, and certainly appears like it's going to be a 7-2 road trip, I don't feel like they're clicking yet. Like they're going to be better. Some of the guys coming back off of the IL, whether it's the starting staff or the relievers, hitters are going to get better and be more consistent. Long season, long year to get ready for the postseason. Answer a lot of questions and get ready for October.
Betts went 0 for his first 7 here in Phoenix, but he's gotten singles his last 2 times up. 2 hits, 2 runs knocked in. Leading the team in runs batted in this year, out of the leadoff spot. Even with the bottom of the order not giving him a ton of chances for much of this year. Sends a high fly ball to center field where Corbin Carroll drifts back and makes the grab and the 6. Yamamoto back out there for the 6th inning, turning the shoulder of Gurriel with a looping curve for a strike. 4 Ks, 1 walk, no runs over 5 innings for Yamamoto. And in a groove. It's 1-2.
Ten swing and misses tonight for Yamamoto, and none of them coming on the fastball. He's used that fastball to set up the splitter and curve.
Bouncing ball to third. Hernandez guns it across for the first out of the 6th. Well, he's pitched really well. He's acclimated well with his teammates. He's very popular. Became that quickly. He's got an easy way about it, doesn't he? He's got a good personality that allowed him to become one of the guys like that.
Yeah, I was joking around with him the other day. He came out and he wanted to know what time BP was starting, and I didn't know what to say, so I said, "What, you trying to hit?" He just kind of smiled and he said, "No, I don't hit anymore." Just kind of laughing. But you're right. I mean, super engaging. 25-year-old, ready to just take on the National League, the Dodgers.
Home with a 2-0 to Ketel Marte. Lars Nootbaar, the Cardinals, who was one of Yoshi's teammates on Team Japan, said that he is the nicest, most caring person you'll ever meet. But underneath that, he's a stone cold killer. It's the best combo. 3-1
as a pitcher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just,
as long as you're not literally a stone cold killer, I guess could apply anywhere, but yeah. Marte takes the walk. Second one issued by Yamamoto. And for more on number 18, down to Kirsten.
Yeah, guys, well, I recently was talking with Kike Hernandez about Yoshinobu, and at first we were talking about the fashion and just how stylish he is and how he's one of the best dressed guys in the clubhouse. I say between him and Mookie Betts, that's definitely like 1 and 2. But Kike also brought up that he said when you're around him, you often forget just how young he is. At only 25 years old, of course, sometimes you have to remind yourself that he is a rookie in this league, considering how much success he had in Japan. But he said just his demeanor and how he just carries himself, you think he's one of the older guys sometimes, but he really is that kind of playful, and you have that just energy of the rookie that you will feel there as well, guys.
Good stuff. Kirsten just got his first swing and miss on a fastball. Christian Walker. And now misses away with a heater at 97. The number 18 that he wears is a special number for pitchers from Japan. Back to the Giants in the 1960s, they had their staff ace wear 18, and so that's been passed down through generations there. If you're the guy, that's what you wear. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. Such a thing that Kenta Maeda had it written into his Dodgers contract that he could wear 18. The 1-2 to Walker, a big bouncer foul. He's had a couple eat him up by the hands tonight. Check swing, went around, strike 3. 5 for Yamamoto. Walker probably had a decent case, but Yamamoto gets the call, and Jock Peterson comes up here with a man at first and 2 out. Arizona has 4 hits in this game. Peterson has 2 of them. Seven years with the Dodgers for Jock Peterson. Seems like he was just the young guy breaking in. Roman center field for the Dodgers. And now 32 years old with his 5th team. He's 3 for 3.
And Jock seeing the ball well against Yamamoto. Yamamoto reverse splits too. Just has had all kinds of success against left-handed hitters this year. Basically dominated him. Neutralize him with that splitter, but not against Peterson tonight.
Yeah, lefties came into the game hitting 148 against Yamamoto with very little damage. Righties came in hitting 325, slugging like Will Smith. It's a righty here. Actually, more lefties in the lineup than there are righties tonight. 5 lefties, 4 righties. Suarez 0 for 2.
First runner in scoring position for the Diamondbacks since that first inning.
Check swing. No swing. Ball 2. Dodger bullpen gets going. Ryan Yarbrough. Roller to third. Hernandez across the diamond to end the inning. 6 scoreless for the second time on this road trip. Off. Walston, who's making his major league debut, pours in a strike. 6 scoreless innings from Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who had gone down into the tunnel. Dave Roberts is going to go greet him, and then boom, there he was. So 2 starts on this trip, 6 scoreless innings in both. Yamamoto with 5 runs allowed in the first inning in the big leagues, below 2 his ERA since. So 5 runs in that 1 inning, and it's like, oh boy, this is going to be a learning experience for him. 6 runs in 6 games since.
Been much better on the North American continent.
Yes, he has. Two to Freeman is outside. Count goes full. Trying to extend his hitting streak. It's sitting at 10 games, and he's at 0 for 3. He'll settle for a walk. Now it's Will Smith. Will hit a home run in the third, his fourth. Almost hit another his second time up. Two 2-0. So the home run in the third inning, no question, hit it straight away left field. And then the ball that he hit in the fifth inning would have been a home run in 24 different parks, including Dodger Stadium, would have been long gone. Wrong spot in the wrong park, though.
Yeah, went to the deepest part. 413 feet is where he decided to hit it.
Two and two on Smith. We talk about Mookie Betts being the best hitter in baseball so far this year, month in, MVP conversation. Yep. Shohei Ohtani, what he's done. But back to the conversation about Smith's offense combined with the fact that he's a catcher. If you're talking about MVP after a month, he's in that conversation too. Down on strikes this time.
I mean, you could conceivably have Dodgers finish 1-2 in the MVP. I mean, you want to get really creative. You could argue 1-2-3, but not sure that'll happen.
Base hit to left field for Hernandez. That's getting a little greedy.
It is getting greedy, but it's.
I'm with you.
I mean, it's not without possibility.
Kike Hernandez with 2 aboard here in the 7th.
I mean, it could be a raised topic in a 6-0 ball game.
Absolutely with fair game there. Kike's bat has started to heat up. Patience tonight. He's drawn 2 walks. Dodgers have 5 walks as a team to go along with 9 hits. Return to what the offense was doing in the first game here in Phoenix. Got those 8 runs. Bunch of hits, bunch of walks that night. And then quiet yesterday. Bullpen game for the Diamondbacks, which we talked about before, can be harder to navigate as a hitter, facing a different arm every time you go up there, even if they're not the best arms. You can't ever get used to a guy. So by the time you do, you're seeing somebody else. Third walk for Hernandez. Kike had 3 walks all year before tonight. So they've got him loaded here for Pages. His hitting streak has been extended to 8 games with a home run.
And we talk about the Dodger offense and what Pages has meant to them. So far on this road trip, 4 times all 9 hitters have reached base in a game. 2 more times where 8 of 9 reached. I mean, the collective effort. again, that wears down the other team. You just can't figure out where are we going to get outs, where are we going to get those guys in the Dodger lineup that we want to face.
One ball, one strike. No longer feels top heavy. Still heavy at the top, but not top heavy. 1-2. Pages thought that he had one to hammer there and smacks his bat in frustration.
Okay, so let's see what happens. He's got the 2 strikes on him. Remember that at bat that finished with a home run. He had 2 strikes, fouled off some pitches, and lengthened the at bat.
Down swinging.
Not going to mess around this time. I can see it. He's trying to speed up the game. Got a lead. Somebody's got to make the outs.
It's like saying I'm the rookie. You know, I know that sometimes comes with the hard stuff. You got to carry the cooler. You got to carry the speaker. I got to make an out to get us home.
Team guy.
Yep. Rojas saying I'm not about to do that. I'm the veteran. 2 for 3 today. Bases loaded in the 7th. Chopper foul. Pitching matchups are set for this weekend. Highly anticipated series with the Braves. It's Gavin Stone and Charlie Morton on Friday night. Saturday, Tyler Glasnow for the Dodgers. Bryce Elder for the Braves. And then on Sunday, a matchup of left-handers. James Paxton, Max Fried. Fried's last 2 starts, he had a complete game shutout on 92 pitches and then had a no-hitter through 7. The Southern California native who grew up a Dodger fan, emulating Sandy Koufax and Clayton Kershaw, coming to face him this weekend. Hey, Catman's here. It's one of the little perks of coming to Phoenix with the spring training home here. So you get the rehabbing guys come and visit the team. Dustin May was here today as well. There's May. Two, full count. So a comfy lead, but really trying to crack it loose right here. Bases loaded, 2 gone in the 7th. Merry-go-round will be started. There they go. Here it comes. Ball 4. A walk and a run. Freeman steps on home, 7-0. Taylor. Chance for a feel-good moment for Taylor here, who collected a hit his last time. He's walked and scored a run. And the ballpark where he had his first major league home run, which was a grand slam. Two and 0. Low strike there. 2-1. A grand slam that he hit, first of his 6 in the big leagues. On a 2-1. Takes ball 3. Inside corner to run it full. attempting his first multi-hit game this year. Here comes the payoff from Hughes. Taylor takes ball 4, and that's back-to-back bases loaded walks. 8-zip. Hernandez in. And now Barnes. Eight walks for the second time in this series for the Dodgers.
And 4 walks just this inning.
Yeah. One on Barnes, back here where he played his college ball at Arizona State. Left Riverside Poly coming thinking he was going to be the next Dustin Pedroia or Ian Kinsler as a middle infielder. Didn't play as a freshman, though. Team's catchers got hurt the next year, and coaches said, hey, you want to give catching a try? And to center field he goes. Right at Carroll to finish off the top of the 7th. Dodgers get a couple runs with a couple bases loaded walks, and we stretch in an 8-0 ball game. Corbin Carroll leads off and takes a strike. Carroll last night had his first extra base hit in 3 weeks. 0 for 2 so far today, though. Do you think we're going to look up at the end of the year and Carroll's going to have numbers anywhere near what he did last year?
I don't. I think that he's beat up a little bit. I think the shoulder, and I also think that this year the league has made an adjustment. And that's usually what happens. You'll have a successful year, your first season, and the next year is a real trying one. And he's being exploited at the top of the zone. You see those numbers pre-injury, post-injury. But even if he's not hurt right now, maybe when he was hurt, he was favoring things, got into some different habits. Always tough too to go uphill. What I mean by that is he started off great last year. When you have those numbers, that's kind of your padding. That's your, okay, if I have a bad game or two, you know, look at, I'm still having a great season. But when you start where he started this year, it's a grind.
Fouls this one back. Yeah, you're far enough in now, struggling, where it's going to take a while to make that not look ugly every time you look up there.
Yeah, you're going to have to get hot for a while, and then you can start looking at the scoreboard in July.
It's a walk for Carroll. The shoulder injury that you're talking about that he suffered in the minor leagues a few years ago, that was in the 7th game of the year on a home run swing. Blows out his shoulder. But he says he might not be the guy that he is without going through that year, because he said to himself, I can't have this be a completely lost year. How can I continue to get better even though I'm not going to be playing? So he earned his degree, taking online courses, rehabbed, and obviously while he's going through his rehab, but he got stronger in his whole body, and he would come here to Chase Field and sit with the scouts behind home plate and turn every big league game into a master class, basically learning. He had an employee badge that would allow him to come to any of the games and sit down there and pepper the scouts with questions. So even though it was a missed year on the field, he refused to let it be a completely lost year in his development.
Yeah, the makeup is off the charts. I mean, there's a reason that these Diamondbacks made him the centerpiece, offering him that 10-year deal.
Bouncing ball to third, to second for one, over to first, a double play to get a speedy runner in Alexander.
Kike gets it started. You just watch Miggy turn it over at second base so quick. Perfect throw over to Freddie.
Two outs and Barnhart to the plate.
Barnhart just happy to see somebody other than Yamamoto out on the mound. 2 strikeouts.
To Barnhart. Tapped foul, strike 2. Fireisen's been in Oklahoma City, pitching well there. With all the arms they used the last couple of days, fresh one up here. Comes an 0-2. Tries to lay off and does. Got him looking. Scoreless 7th inning in his return to the big leagues for JP. Head-to-head in the MVP race. Toronto wound up winning unanimously. That's an extra early leading candidate this year, hitting .372 to lead the majors. 2-0 on him. Three and one. Miguel Rojas was talking about, Mookie Betts working with him and the move that he's making, and brought up a word that I thought was interesting. He said Mookie has allowed himself to be vulnerable, and he loves taking on a challenge, yeah, but Miguel said the first step is admitting how big a challenge it is. So for him to ask for the help, admit that there's work to be done to be good at it, vulnerability sort of the main ingredient, I guess, in that case, to be able to grow. He's got a base hit here, his third one of the game.
Mookie, one of the most humble superstars you'll ever run across. Here's another at bat. He's got the 2 strikes on him, and he's going to take that single. Just throws that barrel there.
I know the swing's never been big, but it seems like it's shorter than ever. Like it's even shades of Chase Utley cutting that swing off.
But I think that's more apparent when there's 2 strikes, right? Like I do believe that he changes the approach, shortens up a little bit, just looking to put it in play.
Freeman.
Freddie looking to extend that hit streak here.
Reached bases last time with a walk and came in to score. Two and one. Got his old Braves team coming in this weekend. He looks forward to reconnecting with his old teammates and Brian Snitker, who he's very close with. Said the emotions of the whole thing, though, are well finished. Got those out. First trip to Atlanta. Now it's just reconnecting with old friends. High fly ball to deep center field. Carroll's going back onto the track. He's got room. But a good sound, but a little bit off balance. That one away in the 8th.
Designated hitter, Will Smith.
And if you were going to say that, Freddie Freeman wasn't going to have any hits and Shohei Ohtani isn't going to play, Dodger offense is going to throw up 8. Not sure I would have guessed that.
2 weeks ago wouldn't have happened.
No, it certainly not.
Strike one on Smith. 1 out of 4 with a home run. Will's got a big night coming up next week, hosting a comedy show. The joke is that he's hosting a comedy show. Right? That is the bit. The Netflix is a joke tour, bringing in a bunch of comedians. Tries to lay off, unable to. Catching Hope Foundation, Will and Kara's Foundation putting on that event to help at-risk youths. Los Angeles, back home in Louisville, where they're both from. So good cause. May 8th. Tickets available, but only a few. It actually says low ticket warning when you're looking at the official page. 1 ball, no strikes on Teoscar Hernandez. Hitting a walk for Teoscar tonight. Ten hits, 8 walks for the team.
I mean, when you look at this road trip, you try and think, where would you like to see improvement with the Dodgers? And like I said, this thing has probably been as complete a road trip as I've ever seen. And it's been the relief pitching, the starting pitching, the offense, the top of the line, the bottom. It's been everything.
Hernandez down on strikes here. Finish off the top of the 8th. Dodgers 6 outs. Diamondbacks here. And an Ocho Cerro game. JP Fireeisen out of River Falls, Wisconsin. Too far from the Twin Cities. JP went to a Division III school, UW Stevens Point, to play baseball, but to become a teacher. He had no idea that he was ever going to even think about a pro career, but he got bigger, he got stronger, started throwing harder, and was the top Division III pitcher in the country by the end of his time there and got drafted. So much for the teaching plans. Two and two, so it was quite an accomplishment just to get drafted. Gets traded a couple times, makes it to the big leagues with the Milwaukee Brewers. Traded from there to Tampa Bay in the Willie Adames deal. And when he's been healthy, he's been dominant. In fact, since his debut, J.P. Feyereisen has the #1 batting average against in baseball. 153. 2-2 to McCarthy. Into right field. That's a base hit ahead of Hernandez. J.P. debuted in the 2020 season. Full rookie year was solid at a 273. And then in 2022, pitched in 22 games before he injured his shoulder. He had not given up a run in those 22 games. Then he missed all last season. He's still working his way back from that, as you so often see. It takes time when you miss that much time before you're anywhere close to yourself again, even for the very best.
I think I was reading something where talking about his parents and them following him and watching his career, and kind of became a ritual that they would do a shot of Fireball before he would go in and pitch, just to calm their nerves.
That's a tasty way to calm your nerves. Tasty and cost effective. Center field Pajes has it. Wisconsin folks, once you settle in, grab a Spotted Cow.
Okay,
Spotted Cow beer. Yeah.
Well, the way he's throwing tonight, just the Fireball shot will do. This is good that the Dodgers come in and take 2 out of 3 from the Diamondbacks. Send a message if a message needed. And Doc even talked about it. We're just coming here to play baseball. We're not trying to send a message or, hey, what happened last year. I think the Diamondbacks, they will be a better ball club as they get healthier, and they'll be one of the teams that's competing for a playoff spot. Do I think that they'll be competing for a division title? No. Once they get their, Kelly can come back, and
Marte to right center field. Hernandez running grab. Eduardo Rodriguez as well.
Yep.
But at this point, it's exactly what you anticipated it sort of being, and that is a logjam for second place. Padres 16 and 18. Diamondbacks and Giants both 14 and 17. Separated by a half game, those 3 teams. Dave Roberts heads out. That's going to do it for J.P. Feyereisen. Gus Varland will come into the game. Comes in an 8-0 game.
This will be his 3rd outing of the year. Just 2/3 of an inning so far. Couple runs.
Strike on Christian Walker. Last night was one of the first examples of the injuries the bullpen has dealt with showing up. You had Evan Phillips, who pitched 4 times over the previous 7 days, so was unavailable. Trinan and Gratterall, of course, out. Now Brazier out with a calf issue they think may be a while. And Joe Kelly, last night, he's going to be okay, sounds like. Tweaked his groin. But the relay race was a little long last night for a bullpen that has been depleted by those injuries. So guys like Feyereisen and Varland coming to the rescue here, trying to cover some innings, bridge them to the off day tomorrow, and get them to the Brave series.
I think that's the biggest challenge for the Dodgers this season, is being healthy and rested come October, because you're going to have to navigate through games every night. You know, how are you going to put away those innings? And it's going to be a challenge for every team.
Walker takes the walk.
But I think this year more than ever, there is an emphasis to go into the postseason locked and loaded. I mean, last year we talked about it, that starting rotation when you went into the playoffs. You know, Kershaw's arm is hanging by, or shoulder hanging by some strings. You know, Bobby Miller, inexperienced rookie, and Lance Lynn, just not a lot of options there. That's not going to happen this season.
Good night going for Jock. He's 3 for 3. Half of Arizona's hits. And you can break it down on so many different levels, the sport and what happened in the postseason. But yeah, it's the simplest level. It's that starting pitching be more lined up. Mookie Betts, heck of a play right there. Strong arm to finish off the
lefty for the Diamondbacks. They've covered all 9 innings tonight from the left side. See 11 innings this year for Logan Allen.
Hernandez, who's walked 3 times, doubling his season total. 3 of the 8 for the Dodgers in this game to go along with their 10 hits. Dodgers and Braves will come into that series this weekend, leading the National League. Or, I beg your pardon, not leading the National League, one behind the Phillies in the National League in number of wins. Phillies have 21 wins. Hernandez the first out of the inning, but Dodgers and Braves will be even with 20 wins apiece. Braves still have a slight edge in that division because the Phillies have lost a couple more. Pages strides up there. 0 for 3 since that home run. Two. Now the 1-2 comes home and Pages grounds it foul. Out of La Habana, Cuba.
This is what Pages does. Just continues to foul pitches off and doesn't really throw away swings or at-bats.
Down swinging here. So he's up there 5 times. He saw 30 pitches. Yeah, now it's Rojas looking for his 3rd hit of the night. He's been on 3 times, the double, the single, and then a walk.
Also stole a base too for good measure.
Yeah.
Played some nice defense.
Stat sheet stuffing tonight. So Ed Sheeran at the Gala tomorrow.
You excited about that?
Yeah, you an Ed Sheeran guy?
I am Ed Sheeran guy. Yeah.
You got a favorite
How about
song?
yourself?
Yeah, oh yeah. Who's not? I mean, how can you not be? Shape of You. Nah.
It's not. Yeah, it's not bad.
Pop fly right side of the infield. It is Pavin Smith who just came in over there to make the catch. 8-0 to the bottom of the ninth. Like you said, just really so many different parts of the roster going right. Maybe not all at the same time on this trip, but at one point or another, every faction has clicked. Eugenio Suarez leads off and takes a strike.
Well, I think it was good. You know, Evan Phillips had mentioned early on in this road trip, maybe it was just something that the club needed to do as far as getting on the road. You know, just get away from home, and you know, it's just nothing but baseball. And it's exactly what happened. And I think collectively too, you know, everybody feels good about this road trip because everybody had a hand in one way or another in contributing to a win or a victory. And it's almost like one of those things, you're sure you want to go back home. You kind of just want to extend this thing and keep it going.
You got Alex Torres and the clubhouse staff with you, taking care of you. Would say, well, you got to go home and do your laundry. No. Stuff's all taken care of. That is in there. Strike three. First out of the ninth. And the 7th strikeout of the game. So get your Jumbo Jacks for free tomorrow. Purchase a large drink at LA area restaurants.
Thank you, Gus.
Ball on Carroll. Coming off a special trip for him. They were up in Seattle to finish off their most recent road trip, which is where he's from. 60 friends and family were there to watch him while he's going through this monstrous slump.
When he's right, he is a special player, can impact the game in so many ways. The power, the speed, the ability to get on base.
Got a base hit into left center field. So he's got a hit in all 3 games in this series. Blaze Alexander comes up. 24-year-old rookie. Drafted out of high school in Florida in 2018. Never really a top prospect, but kept on coming through the minors. Made the team with a huge spring training. That was as a utility infielder, though, and then really got his chance when Gerardo Perdomo went down with the knee injury. And that's the thing to keep in mind with these Diamondbacks. Very banged up. Perdomo, their shortstop. Alec Thomas, their center fielder. A couple guys in the rotation. Their closer and Paul Sewald. So they've just tried to keep their heads above water here. And like you've touched on a few times, keeping your heads above water does not mean trying to keep pace with the division. It means just staying alive in the race for one of those postseason spots, because as it's been proven, they're all pretty much created equal.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this ball club, I make the point that they may be better built for the postseason than they are for the long haul regular season. Because again, if Kelly gets healthy and Zimmerman, Gallen, and Kelly. You've got Montgomery now. Rodriguez comes back. I mean, in a short series, that's not fun facing those guys. Zach?
Gabby's telling him about his tooth.
That's
He's pointing to his mouth.
I just haven't been brushing. They said I've got to brush more. They gave me a new toothbrush.
I bet they told him to floss. They
Floss.
always say that. Have you been flossing?
Yeah. I went real heavy the last week.
I got ready for my appointment. Did he go? No swing. Study shows that 30% of the population flosses daily.
You one of those 30?
No. I bet you are.
No, I'm not.
No.
I'm not proud to say that I'm not.
What percent of those 30% are liars?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's probably about 70 or 80%. You know, I tell you what,
I need Rick on the mat. How many that leaves us with?
It's like whenever after I go to the dentist, so I'm locked in on the flossing for a good like
leading up to it.
No, after,
After,
because it's almost like you're guilted into it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I'm changing things. I'm going to start flossing.
They say gum health is like a big thing,
right?
Not just for your mouth, but for your overall well-being. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go floss, and you can handle the rest of this game. Bouncing ball to first. Freddie Freeman thought about going to second, instead gets the out at first base. The second and third, two gone, and the ninth and a strike on the inside corner.
I think this is a guy we've been waiting for all road trip, Joe.
Varland?
Last out.
Oh. 0-2.
Gus, too. I like Gus.
Nothing against Gus. It's just time to go home. Back at Dodger Stadium, which is going to be lit up this weekend with the Braves in town. Just inside. One, two in the dirt, and Carroll's going to retreat. I think got far enough away where in a different situation, no chance he's retreating.
Nice shot by Barnesy, though. You see him hustling after that. Trying to retain this shutout.
Bounce it to second. Rojas is there, runs it to first. That's the game. That's the trip. They go 7-2 on this three-city road trip. head-to-head in the MVP race. Toronto wound up winning unanimously. That's an extra early leading candidate this year, hitting .372 to lead the majors. 2-0 on him. Three and one. Miguel Rojas was talking about, Mookie Betts working with him and the move that he's making, and brought up a word that I thought was interesting. He said Mookie has allowed himself to be vulnerable, and he loves taking on a challenge, yeah, but Miguel said the first step is admitting how big a challenge it is. So for him to ask for the help, admit that there's work to be done to be good at it, vulnerability sort of the main ingredient, I guess, in that case, to be able to grow. He's got a base hit here, his third one of the game.
Mookie, one of the most humble superstars you'll ever run across. Here's another at bat. He's got the 2 strikes on him, and he's going to take that single. Just throws that barrel there.
I know the swing's never been big, but it seems like it's shorter than ever. Like there's even shades of Chase Utley cutting that swing off.
But I think that's more apparent when there's 2 strikes, right? Like I do believe that he changes the approach, shortens up a little bit,